Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Collective Intelligence Block Party number 17. This is our 17th consecutive 24-hour Collective Intelligence Block Party to which everyone in the world is welcome to join. And our mission is saving life on Earth through the application and evolution of collective intelligence. And in fact, our mission, our dream, is that we evolve from collective intelligence to collective superintelligence, or CSI, as we call it for short. And, you know, for those who are learning about the Block Party for the first time, I'll just say it's been one of the most amazing experiences of my life. We get together and we do this for 24 hours straight, every Friday, Saturday. And the folks who you see here on the screen are some of the folks who often stay the full 24 hours, or 20 out of 24 hours. After 8 or 9 all-nighters of Block Party, I finally developed the habit of taking a nap in the middle of the night, or more than a nap, of sleep. And then my colleague Nolan Straight, takes over at that time. So from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Pacific time, Nolan takes over. Otherwise, I'm here moderating the other 19 hours, and it's really, for me, and I think for many of us, it's really a spiritual transformation as we come together in this radical new way, leveraging this amazing medium of video conferencing. And the long format is particularly valuable because it gives us time to really root down and take our time and go off on one tangent or another, and then eventually bring it all together. And in addition to the Block Party, we also meet on Tuesdays for 8 hours. So that's a much shorter meeting. We just from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. The crows are really making a lot of noise this morning, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, today we're having an interesting exploration because I had some really interesting communications with Guy McPherson and Dr. Yatow of Harvard this last week regarding cooling the planet through solar radiation management, which is, so if I had to sum up what we're doing in a nutshell, what is this group and what's it all about? Collective intelligence is really sort of, you know, for lack of a better word, the medium through which we come together. But ultimately, it's to generate and implement and perfect solutions. And the most urgent solution that we have is that of cooling the planet through solar radiation management, massive planetary scale solar radiation management. And to in turn get there, we talk about a holistic strategy. What's it going to take to get humanity to the point where we are united enough, enlightened enough, right? And imbued with enough truth about what's actually going on, that we can make that transformation and see ourselves as the caretaker species that I believe we urgently need to evolve into becoming. By the way, is the background noise from the crows, is that bothering? Because I think I'll try putting on my headset. That might make it a little better. Is it? I imagine it is bothering, huh? It's not? You can, okay.
I'm really enjoying the crows.
Well, I think
my crows are echoing and are answering them outside anyway, so it's amazing. But they have their fresh water source nearby, Jim.
Oh, I put out fresh water for them every morning, a couple gallons of it, and
they're all right. So they're probably having a family argument.
I think so. Anyway,
Jamin, I've been thinking about something. You know, people in lockdown, okay, some people are still carrying on with their jobs. A lot of people are in lockdown. But it's people who've had their structure taken away with them with a job, suddenly they're having time to think. You know what it's like when you're in a job and you barely have enough time to sleep and eat. You know, you're on this kind of treadmill. But a lot of people who've been on that treadmill and maybe, you know, ever since they were teenagers, or 20 something, they've been on that treadmill and that structure's been taken away. Well, I suddenly thought, well, people go really crazy without their structures. It's holding them together, and you can't overnight adapt and build a new structure and a new understanding and way of being. That's, you know, that's a process. And just as plants take time to adapt to a new climate situation, etc., we're having to adapt, especially people who are new to these ideas that we're talking about here. And people won't adapt, and they'll long, I'm thinking they'll long for a structure, and that structure might well be longing for somebody giving them hard rules, authoritarianism. I just suddenly felt a bit negative about it all. You know, it can swing either way. Is it going to swing towards permaculture and unity, or is it going to, with a lot of people, it might be sheer terror at having no structure, and they'll openly welcome authoritarianism.
Beautiful. Thank you, so. Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, those of us who are who participate in these meetings intensively like we do, have been in this conversation for quite a while and seeing what's coming for quite a while. So we've been kind of ready for this, shall we say, whereas the vast majority of humanity, as you're mentioning, so is really not. And so it's taking a while for folks to kind of wake up and evolve. But as we come together, for me, like, this is like, I love these block parties, and even though I get tired and all that, and I just push through, this is where those of us who are sufficiently awake to the reality of what's happening and awake to our own responsibilities, right? As you know, with the noblesse oblige we have of so much intellectual capacity, opposable thumbs, abilities to synthesize and make stories and share those, et cetera, all the things that make us a collectively intelligent species, we're awake to those responsibilities as well. And for me, nothing could be more empowering than this conversation. So as I was mentioning earlier about World Unity Week coming up later in June, the overall trend is that those of us who, for lack of a better word, get it, those of us who get it are coming together and finding it incredibly empowering to do so. And, you know, it's happening. So we just gotta, you know, we just gotta step on the accelerator. Absolutely, Bo, and look forward to seeing you soon. Come back anytime. We're here literally for the next 23 hours. So just come and go as you please. There's no formality, you know, especially when we have like a couple dozen people. People are just coming and going, and it's just like, it's a block party, right? Leave the tuxedo at home, leave the formalities at home, you know, grab a beer, grab a vegan burger, you know, the bong is in the back, keep it on the down low, you know, this is a block party. So anyway, great to see you and welcome everyone, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Alrighty. So well, I've been sharing for a few minutes here, so I'm going to go on mute and love to hear other folks' thoughts. Also, these crows are getting really loud, so I'm going to I'm literally going to put some cotton in my ears and then my earbuds on top of that. And I'm going to get some Irish oatmeal I've got going on here. So I'll be back literally in like 45 seconds. So I'll be back and carry on. We're recording and streaming. I am back, and I want to know, what's your stack?
How much time have we got left?
Oh, yeah, and in Guy McPherson's reply to that question, he said we have 3 minutes, and with every breath we take, the clock resets, and we get another 3 minutes. Not exactly the answer I was looking for, but
He's always so exact.
well, you know, leave it to Guy to rip off a big fart in the elevator and then leave, and leave the rest of us to deal with it.
What the? There was he goes through the how many stages are there in the end there of 6 stages or 7 stages of grief there? You familiar with? Are you familiar with the different stages?
5 stages of grief.
Are you familiar with them?
I think it's fear, bargaining, anger, self-pity, and then acceptance.
But then there's gallows humor, right? He did a video about gallows humor, and then I added a 7th one, and that was silence. If that has any meaning, deep meaning.
There's I think there's when I got through thinking about Guy McPherson and all the rest of it, I mean, we're all going to die anyway, but when I got through, you know, thinking about the aerosol masking effect and thinking, oh God, it really is, you know, it's right upon us, or that this emergency, this climate emergency. I went through a lot of stages, but at the end of it, I found myself to be quite cheerful. So I came up with this stage of, I was almost like laughing hysterically. And I think that might be something like extinction hysteria or extinction delirium. So that was the stage I've come up with, which might be quite similar to gallows humor, but gallows humor is it's drier, you know?
I would think it's a form of relief.
Yeah, laughter releases tension, doesn't it?
Release, yeah. It's a form of release and relief at the same time, because a lot amount of worries that you'd normally have been worrying about up until that point have become so fucking futile when you realize what the issues really are like in life, like. And it's like what we were talking about earlier, like the way I see it, like these fellas that are still out there, like there's a lot of scientists out there that have been going on about the climate situation for a number of years now, like, and like Jim Hansen, there now, for example, he was giving speeches to the UN back in the 80s and everything else. Now he's fucking changed around to the point where, oh, you know, we do this and we do that and it's okay. And even he's gone to the extreme of trying to say that Guy McPherson is way over the top and everything else. Like, that's how much he's come around to make a better career for himself and to make, get a bit of notoriety and a bit of fame for himself. And so he's decided to cash in off of it, even though he knows the reality of it and he won't tell the truth. And I've come up with a name for them. They're academic looters. Because if they were like, given the situation with the riots there now in America just recently, and there was people out on the streets, the majority of people, 95% of the people were out in the streets fighting for a just cause and standing up to be heard for a right cause in a peaceful manner. There was 5% looters. They were the ones out looking out for themselves. Well, they would have been the looters, 5%, and they would have been in the minority.
And James, the looters are really the capitalists, aren't they? Because they're thinking it's all about gain. Oh, what can I make out of this? Well, they get, and a percentage of them are probably agents provocateurs. Let's defame this movement.
That's my point. My point is that they're out for the looters are out for themselves. They're trying to get a bit of personal gain while there's a serious issue going on, and they're not standing up for the serious issue. They're out looking out for themselves. There's 5% of looters, while 95% of the people were standing up for a just cause. There's a just cause there, and the likes of these guys were standing up for it at the start. No, they're just fucking academic looters. That's the way I call them.
All right. Well, we got some.
That's a really good term, James. Academic looters. Yeah, because there's a whole section of people with Guy McPherson. They want to kill the messenger, but on the other hand, a lot of people seem to be making their careers out of him. There's that guy Wallace Wells, who wrote for New York Magazine. It's obvious that he was very influenced by coming across Guy McPherson, but as far as I can tell in his writings, he doesn't acknowledge him. So he comes under the looter, and they go running away with their, angle on it, as a journalist or as a scholar, whatever. Let's face it, there are careers to be made out of these, out of the end of the world. Even, we're stuck in this capitalist cage, and people think that way, and they think, oh, well, I'm going to get myself a bit of luxury and a bit of status and a bit of honor in the last 10 years or whatever it is, and off they go writing their books and I call them glory hunters, which is an old-fashioned word, but yeah, academic looters, that's a good one.
All righty. No, really good stuff. I want to welcome Dr. Silas Rao, and is it Srikar? Welcome, Srikar, and welcome everyone. As you all may have noticed from the agenda from last night, we're now kicking off the 2-hour Food Healers segment for the next 2 hours. So I'm going to stop this recording and start a new one.